Policies that govern the policing profession are based on rigorous research, and that's ongoing and always evolving. So how is that research conducted, and how are the findings put into action? Megan Stoltz and David Snively sit down with me now to explain. Well, first of all, thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate that, so thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Let's kick off. Give us a little bit of an explanation of what the Centre does.
So the IACP Center for Police Research and Policy seeks to provide timely, relevant research findings to police leaders and policymakers to help them implement data-driven, evidence-based policies and practices. And we do that through original data collection, as well as secondary analysis of existing data and translation of research findings into actionable recommendations.
Data is really important these days, isn't it?
Absolutely.
So what sort of research do you undertake?
Well, like Megan said, what we're trying to do is get at what matters most in policing. How can police leaders operationalize data, and how should they be using it in their police agencies? So we're looking at things like, what are the national trends in police pursuits? What's happening in police recruiting and retention? And what are some of the best ways to recruit and retain some of the most qualified candidates? Some of the most exciting research that we're doing is underway right now through what we call the RAPID survey, which is Resident and Police Insights and Data. It's a survey that's administered by text message, one question, once a week, administered to police officers or police agency staff, sworn or non-sworn at any rank, to really help us tell the story of policing. And the second component of that is what we call Rapid Community, which is an opportunity for us to survey community members to understand how they feel about police in their community and give those police officers and leaders some really actionable information about what's working in their local community setting.
And how do those findings get translated into action?
Well, the point of evidence-based research is to find out what works and what doesn't,
Right.
so that police leaders can focus on what works and allocate their own resources more effectively and more efficiently. So evidence-based research helps them formulate strategies, and we help the police leaders formulate policies and practices to help implement those strategies. The IACP Center for Police Research and Policy helps do that through a variety of resources, like the guidance provided from our Policy Center, as well as the Evidence to Action brief series and a variety of other resources.
So how quickly does all this happen? Because we can get frustrated sometimes, can't we? We're building all this data, all this research, all this knowledge, and it takes then a long time to actually get anywhere. So how quickly does it translate?
It really can take a while. And so one of the things that we're trying to do through the evidence to action briefs is timely release new research. As soon as it comes out, translating it into operational findings for police leaders, distilling it down to a page or two. What does a police leader or a police officer, agency member need in order to use this right away?
I love the idea of a 1 or 2 page brief. That sounds right up my street. So give us an example, if you would, of some of the research that you've undertaken.
Yeah, so some of our most recent research has been around police pursuits, vehicular pursuits, and specifically, what are some of the factors that make them more or less dangerous for the offenders, for the officers, and for uninvolved community members. So we're really excited to tell some of that story on a national level about what pursuits look like. Similarly, we've undertaken research on police recruiting and retention to determine whether or not certain strategies are working to attract and retain police officers in the profession. And I think those are some compelling findings as well, to help understand not just what works, but also what doesn't. It's just as important a question.
It's really interesting because a lot of those topics that you've just talked about now are the topics we talk about all the time when we're here at the conference. So it does really show how the research work that you're doing underpins the decisions that have been made by the organisation. My final question would be, people watching from different agencies would be saying, this sounds good, how do I get involved? So how do they get involved?
Yeah, absolutely. Visit our website at www.theiacp.org/researchpolicy. Scroll down the page just a little ways, and there is a form for you to submit your contact information to get involved with us in helping the field test out new ideas.
Perfect. Thanks ever so much, both of you, for joining us. Really interesting discussion. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.